And again. Doirin Graham, CEO of Clare Local Development Company. You're one of only 4 companies that competed to get leader funding with new local and community development committees vying for the funding in every county, and you have been successful, you were informed yesterday. I would just like to hear your opinions on the future for what we call community-led local development. New people coming into the community sector, starting to work and volunteer in it. What is community-led local development? Why is it important?
Well, it's what we would have called sort of the bottom-up decision-making, the process where, it's people on the ground in local areas, looking at what they need and making the decisions about what they need. So it's led by communities, and rather than the state, I suppose, at a sort of a national level, looking at a local picture and saying this is what's needed. So it's much more sort of local. It's driven by what the communities feel that they need, and then they get to make the decisions and in many cases manage the resources to solve the problems that they see in their own communities. Now its future is something that at European level I think has a very good future, because Europe, largely through the success of the LEADER programme over the last 24 years.
Here in Ireland, is it?
In Ireland,
right,
yeah,
Germany.
Ireland particularly, but LEADER is a European programme. But yes, LEADER in Ireland has been particularly successful, and I think inspired by the success of LEADER across Europe, the European Commission have adopted community-led local development as a methodology or an approach for delivering European supports and addressing problems through European programmes at local level. So it's going to be, in a sense, mainstreamed across more and more European programmes and European funds. And this time around...
Just to explain, it's like in most countries, as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, local authorities divvy out leader funding, for want of better words.
Yes.
Whereas in Ireland and maybe a few other areas, it has traditionally been these partnership companies or local development companies, as they're also called, which have people from the statutory agencies on their board, voluntary, and you've community people on the board, and maybe HSE people
and local authority people
and local authority representatives. So that's your board, and they oversee your work and the work of the staff and the direction that community companies go in.
Yes.
But just to ask, if that's great that Brussels is going for the community-led model, but why have we a situation where across most of Europe it's local authorities who implement LEADER, and that's what the government here
well, I think that's
in.
one of the reasons why LEADER in Ireland has been particularly successful, if you compare it to other countries in Europe, is because it has been community-led models, new sort of local companies or organisations established partnerships with statutory local authority, but community, very strongly community group and voluntary involvement. So that is I think the secret of why LEADER has been so successful in Ireland and Europe. When you talk to people in the Commission and at European level, say Ireland is a very good example of how LEADER can work. Yes, there have been some problems, but by and large it's a very successful programme in Europe because of the Irish model, and other countries would have adopted the model or tried to adopt the model that we have here in Ireland.
What countries, for instance?
Well, Finland, for example. Finland wouldn't have that local authority type model. They would have gone more for the non-government model of a LEADER group, and they have been particularly successful as well.
Okay, just sorry to stop you again.
Okay.
No, did you want to say something else?
No, keep going here.
I'm just wondering about the Phil Hogan, former minister in the community sector and local authority sector. He brought in a new policy whereby local and community development committees have been set up in every county, and that model wasn't attractive. You obviously competed with them for the bid and were successful. What's your issue with that approach? Because obviously there's some endorsement that your approach also seems to be at least work, if not work better.
Well, I suppose
and not you, your board. I'm not talking about you, Doirin Graham,
yes,
but you, your
board,
company,
yes,
your board,
the company,
your
and
staff.
the approach that I suppose the community-led approach.
What don't you like about local and community development committees?
Well, I don't have any problem with them, but essentially they're mirror images of what a local development company is. So if you look at the structure, they're exactly pretty much the same structure, being like almost
Okay,
a
so
clone
why does Phil Hogan
of
bring them in then?
because they're committees of the local authority, so they're local authority committees and they're under the local authority. Now they are independent in their decision making function from the local authority, but nevertheless they are a local government committee.
Are they then not, I'm just going to argue it with you, but are they not then more accountable to the people?
Well, there's huge accountability in the existing local development companies, and I don't think that there was ever any issue with accountability in from the local authority. In the councillors in Clare, we have 3 county councillors on our board. We have got great support from the councillors in the council chamber on 2 occasions when we spoke to them about the future of Leader, and we got very strong endorsement from the majority of councillors in Clare County Council who said CLDC are doing a great job in delivering Leader, and we don't want that to change in Clare. Now that wasn't the universal opinion, but it was the opinion of the majority. And so I think, if you're looking for endorsement and accountability, the councillors in Clare County Council certainly felt that they were getting that from CLDC.
Okay, yeah, and for students of the history of community development, do you see this as an important victory, or do you see
it's
it
a
as
milestone, I think,
milestone?
for we never wanted to be in a position where we had to compete, but we obviously did, and thankfully we were successful. Yeah, I think for the future of community-led local development, there needs to be a strong independent sector. Local authorities have a very important role, and we've always had a very good relationship with the local authority. Their role is not the same as a community-led organisation. They are a state body, and they have their functions and they have their skills and strengths. And I think the two together, can do a lot, and we have shown that in the past in Clare. And there's a lot of really good things that we've done together in the past. But I think we are different, and I think what the communities in Clare want, and they have told us this again and again, is they want the non-governmental organisation, the community-led organisation that they feel is theirs and belongs to the communities of the county, and they want that organisation to deliver Leader. It's not an anti-county council thing, but what we're saying is that this way is better, the community-led way is better. Leader is a community-led programme, and therefore it should be delivered and managed and run by a community-led organisation.
Okay, and just looking ahead, in 5 years' time, would you see more community-based companies competing with local and community development committees, or
I think so, and I think that would be a healthy
competition
thing.
being healthy?
I think
Yeah.
competition is, we've always said that we had no problem with competition as long as it was a fair competition, which it was. So I think, it is good for people to say, hang on, maybe we could do this ourselves, and maybe we could get people together in our county or our community, and maybe we could do a better job than whoever the incumbent is, whether it's us or whether it's a local authority or some other organisation. That, I think that it's good. I don't think that competition should be stifled, or other people's ambitions to do it better or to strike out and on their own should be stifled. But I think what I suppose the reason that it's important that we retain independent leader groups is that for the future we need to have community-led development which is driven by community and voluntary people, and I don't think that will happen if there is a local authority-led model of community-led development. I think you will lose the participation and the involvement and the expertise of people from the community and voluntary sector, and that's what's made the difference all of these years.
So you've got a bit of a bolshy attitude, and it worked. Would you think that there should be more bolshy leaders in the community and voluntary sector? For anyone, I'm not sure, Trotsky, Bolshky, the whole lot, but the phrase, you stuck your neck out.
But I think
Do you think people should?
I think you have to believe, and sometimes it's hard to hold the faith when government policy and a lot of the sort of, I suppose, bodies that were we were seeking support from were telling us, look, this is inevitable, it's going to happen. You're swimming against the tide, and you can't change this. So I think you have to really believe in yourself, and believe that you can, be better and you can compete and win. So I think it's just about self-belief and and some experience and the confidence that comes from having the experience of doing it, and also knowing that there's somebody else out there that is going to, I suppose, oversee or guarantee a fair process, and that was the European Commission.
Okay, and you also had twice the local authority elected representatives voted by a majority in this county of Clare in favour of. What did they vote for again?
They voted to retain the existing model, which was that ourselves as a leader group would continue to deliver leader.
Okay.
So on both occasions.
So happy days in Clare.
Yes, I think, I think, whatever their disappointment from the local authority side, and I'm sure there is disappointment and I can understand that, we had a lot to lose in a way, I suppose, that the local authority didn't, because people's jobs and futures depended on us getting leader. But I think, there's definitely a willingness for us to get on with each other and work well together in the future. And that's what the communities won't thank us if we don't all work together in the future. So that's what we'll do.
Very well said. Thank you, Doirin Graham.
Okay.